Hello everybody, welcome to Governance in Action. I'm in Brazzaville, the capital of the Republic of Congo, with Tracy Lane, which is one of our practice managers in Western and Central Africa, and Henri Fortin. We are here for this conference on state of enterprises in Central Africa, which has been very interesting, very dynamic, many high-level counterparts involved. Henri, can you tell us a little bit how this conference came about?
So we had an engagement with the Ministry of Budget to help them with the drafting of the law, thinking about how to set up the ownership function, collecting the information. And at some point we met with the minister and he said, I have an idea, why don't we organize a conference to promote the law and bring also partners from other countries to learn from their experience. So it was going to be a relatively small affair, but as we went by, we realized that this was a great opportunity, including to bring our colleagues from Kinshasa across the river. And we know that they're doing a lot on this front. So now it's become like a fairly sizable event, but I think the minister was right in seeing the value of organizing a public event, because really there's an element of awareness raising and also creating a platform for peer learning.
Yeah, and Tracy, on that sense, it was not only high-level officials from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but also there were people from Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. Why is this agenda becoming so important in the region?
It's a big, important agenda, largely because of fiscal stresses on the budget, and many of the state-owned enterprises are big contributors to the budget, especially those that are in oil and gas, and with the fluctuations of global oil prices, that also creates a lot of fiscal risks and challenges. But also because as they're trying to achieve national development goals, they're seeing these enterprises as a tool in that agenda, and their switch to a more climate-friendly growth pattern means that their dependence on oil and gas is also going to change in time.
Yeah, we listened yesterday how, as you say, fiscal issues are relevant, impact on climate are relevant, but also service delivery and issues associated with transparency, because these companies could be so big that having them off the balance of public accounts, it could be a tricky issue. Enrique, quick question. Beyond this conference, what are we doing with the countries in the region? To what extent we have been able to partner on this topic?
So as I mentioned, we were working on the legal framework, and that remains a key area of engagement. It's a little bit of an unfinished agenda. I mean, many countries have adopted new laws, but that's definitely, I would say, the foundation for a strong governance system. Then you have the ownership entity. I think all the countries have come to grasp with this notion of a centralized ownership function. Of course, the sector ministry still will play an important role. So how to set up this agency, what form, and providing some capacity building support to the agency. There's an element of digitization that's very important, how to collect the financial statement. So in Cameroon, we're working on this through an IPF. In Congo, that's also an important aspect. Also, the transparency agenda, which involves the question of the corporate reporting, the quality of the reports, the quality of the audits. So that's something where we provide technical advice to the ownership entities, to the ministries, but also, as I mentioned, the peer learning is also a very important element. So, and we have plans to go further and to work also, hopefully, with our colleagues from Africa East, because there's clearly shared needs and I would say an appetite to work together and to learn from each other.
Thank you. And Tracy, one last question. Yesterday, during one of the sessions, the issue about the bank position with respect to the work on SOE came about it, and people have long memory, and in the 80s and maybe at least in the first part of the 90s, when the Washington Consensus was prevalent, the bank and many other international financial institutions' position was that basically SOEs has to be privatized, right? So now we're concerned about how to make them work. But it's an issue that seems that we still need to explain, but also a growing agenda. What is your opinion about it? What is what you are hearing from counterparts? What is what we should be focusing on?
So just this last 2 days, we've heard a lot about the the differences between the types of enterprises that the government is overseeing. So it's pretty obvious that privatization alone is not a solution to all of them. And I think it may not be a word that's very popular, but we did at least hear several refer to that being kind of the old medicine that was done, and in certain cases may still be relevant for enterprises that are doing okay and can function in competitive markets. But predominantly the focus has been on this area of fiscal transparency and holding enterprises to account and having the government play its role as a shareholder. And I think that's probably where the current push and emphasis is in this region.
Yeah, and if I may, to finish with that, it's not only a concern in this region. In particular in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, there's a large questions about how to operate state-owned enterprises, and it's also a growing interest in East Asia. So it's an agenda that probably was kind of dormant for a few years, but it's coming up very strongly, and we and our colleagues in governance are playing a large role on it. Thank you, and see you soon.